Hey everybody, it's Steve with Sky194, and I sure hope you're having a great day, and I appreciate you stopping by and checking out my video. And it's going to be a little bit different. Today we're here at Zolder with the Porsche Cup car, and I had, I think Sim Racer GT asked if I could do a setup for the car. So, of course, I did the setup, practice in practice mode and things like that, but the only way I can really compare it to anything is to do like a short race against the AI. And of course, the AI is at 100 and the aggression's 100. So I started fourth to try it and see, compare it, with them and to see what, strengths and weaknesses. And I'm glad I did because, again, I found a few things that didn't work really well, and so I had to make some adjustments. And but I think it's a decent package now. Yeah, again, I'm not saying, I'm sure it could be better, but it can always be better. But it sure is a huge improvement and definitely something that works well. And so we're going to go over a few laps, and of course, I'll put a link to the setup in the description. And of course, I have a PayPal link in the description also if you want to help support the channel. And thank you to everybody that has, no matter the amount, I want to say thank you because it means a lot, and I really appreciate your support. And also, of course, my email's in the description also. So let's get started. We're just going to go over a few laps, that way, just short as I can. But there's some things I really need to show, to point out. So let's go over a few laps, and then we'll go over the setup. So I just took the lead, and about a lap ago. So I was really trying to push pretty hard to see what I could do. So you see my fast laps of 132.5, and I was really, in practice, I was running some 131, so I was really wanting to see if I could get a 131. So again, I was pushing really hard to see if I could, which the car was definitely working well. But then I had a problem, and that's why I wanted to point that out. And it was right here. Now, when you see me come through here, right there, you see how I got my tires are turned to the right, but the back end of the car is going right. So the car is basically, when you go through here, since you have an open diff and you have no traction control, you got to be very careful with your throttle application. So basically, coming through here and getting on the gas a little too aggressive, trying to push and get a good, decent time, the car was wanting to go to the left, as you're sitting in the car. It was wanting to go over to the left. So I had to completely lift and get out of the gas to save it, which I did, but it totally messed up my lap. So again, you can go through here really good, but anytime you're getting back on the gas, you got to the application's got to be smooth. You can't be too, especially when you're changing directions or just coming off a corner, you can't be too aggressive or it'll bite you. So again, we'll go through here, and you can see I went all the way out, barely saved it from running out in the grass. Go through here, and then down through here, I guess I just messed up and broke too late, way too late, and was running way wide. And again, this is another danger zone. Again, with the open diff and everything, you go through here, and if you get too aggressive, it will just shoot you over to the wall. So again, and also, you want to be in second. You don't need first anywhere on this track except the start. That's it. After that, second gear is as low as I went all the way around here, and that helps coming off the corners, because first it would want to spin up too easily, and you can't put it to the ground to where you can get a good drive. And I don't know this for a fact, but it seems like the motor on the Cup car has got better mid-range, or the gear ratios are different or something, because it's a lot different than the GT3 car in that way. So basically, you can come off in second and come through here and just concentrate on getting a good smooth drive coming off the corner, and you have less of a chance of losing it. But of course, that allowed them to start catching back up to me. So that was, you know, kind of totally blew my lap. So I wasn't too happy about that. So let's jump in the car. Of course, it's a lot different, obviously, than the GT3 car for sure. Driving, it takes some, you know, and I don't drive it a lot, so it takes a while for me to, you know, kind of get my mechanics down and things like that. But it does really well through here. Again, that's the things I had to adjust. So you have clearance and things like that. And again, it does really well through down here too, but you just got to be careful when you're applying the throttle. You don't have to worry about it bottoming out or anything like that. Lap. That was my fast lap. That was a 131.8. So I mean, which I ran in practice with even more fuel. So that's, you know, that was where it should be. So let's go over to last lap. And I want to show basically where I'm hitting the brakes and things like that. A little bit different than the GT3. Of course, the 100 was right here, but basically just past it, I'm going to be on the brakes and down to third gear. And again, you're in fifth. I'm going to go down to third through here, which is different than I'm pretty sure I'm in second in the Porsche GT3 car. So again, I mean, a little bit different technique than the GT3 car. But yeah, I'm in third. Go up to fourth, and then into third again. And of course, I use this corner worker shack right here, basically for my next brake marker. And of course, I go a little deeper when I'm in the GT3 car, but that's, you know, again, you can't do that with this. Again, back down to third. You go up to fourth and fifth. And then right here at the beginning, of this, right before you get to this side road here, I'm on the brakes and you downshift to fourth. Just stay in fourth gear. Hold it there and just let it go out wide, and it really has a good, decent balance. And then of course right past the 100, as soon as you pass the 100, I'm on the brakes, usually between the 100 and this pole. But usually that's really, really deep. So, but usually, you know, right past the 100. And you can run over these some. It's not a big deal. It goes right over it. Doesn't even slow it down as far as time. And again, with this, I try to go out here a little bit, because if you hold it tight here, it's going to make the car run wide going down the hill. So I try to come out here a good car length or car and a half. So you have a little bit of an angle, so you can hold it tight going through here. And basically right past this, the end of this curbing here, or it's usually that, or as soon as I get the car straight, usually one of the two, I'm on the brakes. Again, a little earlier than a GT3 car, but go through here in second. Hold everything really tight. Of course, I'm you know, applying the throttle a little bit back and forth, so, you know, just got to take it as it as it's telling you. And basically here at the 100, just before the 100. And again, you go down to second, hold it nice and tight. And of course, was right past the 100. See right there at the 100. Down to second also again. So run over the little sausages there. And then again there, it's really important too here. You want to open this up here. You don't want to pull this in tight. So be aware if you're trying to pass somebody, be careful of that. That happened to me earlier, and I did multiple parts of races, but that happened to me earlier. I was trying to pass, and I tried to hold it in tight, and it just makes the car want to spin out because you're trying to pull it in tight, and with the open diff and no traction control, it just you're trying to get a good drive, and you just spin out and you end up hitting the guardrail over here. So basically, what you want to do is you got to be careful of that, but you want to run it wide as far as when you're coming off. You want to open it up so you can be more aggressive on the gas and not worry about the car spinning, with the back end coming out. So you run it out there and keep it straighter. That was a 132.16. That was my last lap. So again, let's go over to setup. And let's go here. Setup. We got 26.7 left front, 25.7 left rear, 27.7 right front, and 26.4 right rear. The toe is -0.1 in the front, with the camber at -3.8 on the left front and -4 on the right front. The caster is 9.1. On the rear, the toe is 0.1, with the camber at -2.8 on the left rear and -3 on the right rear. Now here, I did try some different things. I really didn't try anything any less negative camber because it didn't seem like it was going to help any. I did try more. I did try to be more aggressive and to have more negative camber on the front and the rear, and I just didn't like it. It just didn't work for me. And actually, when the tires are cold, when you're first starting out, it's treacherous. You got to be super careful because it's almost like you're in the rain because you got all this negative camber going on, and the tires are cold, and basically it's and no traction control and everything else, and it's just a bad combination. So basically, I try to take some of the negative camber out of it, and but again, if you take too much, it doesn't really help at all, and it starts to hurt. So I did this, but I tried to keep it at a decent value, still decent values. Electronics, of course, you got 5 on the ABS. That's it. Fuel, I had like 35 liters in that race, but I did do this with 65 when I did it in practice, and I was still running high 31s. As you can see, there's the wear on the tires. Not a lot you can do with it just because you're so limited. So there's no graining and stuff or blistering, so that's always a good sign. Mechanical, got 4 on the anti-roll bar, 57 with the brake bias, 14 on the steer ratio. The spring rate is number 2 all the way around, and the bump stop range is 20 on the front, and the bump stop range is 50 on the rear. And of course, the bump stop rate is unadjustable. The anti-roll bar is 2, and of course, the preload on the diff is unadjustable. It's just open. So now on the brake bias, I would start out at 57 or even 58, but you can work down from there to help rotate the car after it gets some miles on it, get some wear. I was down to 56, I think, when I was doing that at the end just to try it, and it was working fine. The shocks on the front are 5.376, and on the rear they're 5.367. Aero, I have 64 in the front, 90 in the rear with an 8 rear wing and a 2 and a 3 in the brake ducts. And of course, a 2 is in the front and a 3 is in the rear. For some reason, you got to do it opposite with the Cup car. So that's, compared to the GT3 car. I mean, one thing I wish, I did run the ride height a little lower in the front. So if you want to do a click down like that, that's fine. And actually, you get a little bit better front end grip with that. But the problem with that is if you try to run over the sausages and things like that in the chicane there after the straightaway, the back straightaway, you will upset the car or wreck it either way. Or this way, you can run over it and it doesn't hurt it at all. So again, if you can be disciplined enough not to run over it and know that, you can, again, get a little bit better feeling out of it. But I chose to go this way because when you're trying to pass somebody or whatever and have to run over it, it doesn't even slow you down. So that's the way I went. So again, I will make this a setup, and I sure hope you give me a thumbs, give me a like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And I sure hope you come back and visit again really soon. Y'all take care. See ya.